On BBC Radio Scotland, the second Premiership encounter of the afternoon, Dundee against Celtic, live with Scott Brown, Tony Docherty and Rob McLean.
Cheers, Richard. This morning, Celtic were 5 points off the pace after what happened at Ammanvale, 6 behind, but maybe in a couple of hours' time, only 3 off the top of the Scottish Premiership. That is their plan, to get all 3 points here, but it goes without saying that is much easier said than done on the back of their exploits on Tayside this season. Losers already this season here at Dens in October, and beaten across the road on the sandpit at Tannadice 2 weeks ago. And well, there is no margin for error, there's no doubt about it. They have to be thinking of winning all their games, but there is stiff competition at the top of the top tier in Scottish football, and who would say with any certainty at all which of these 3, Rangers, Celtic and Hearts, is going to lift the title in May. Dundee will have their own thoughts about what they need to do here today. Yes, they've improved big time over the course of the season, but still looking downwards and realising they're only 5 points off second bottom spot, so their need for points is pretty strong as well. Couple of changes for Dundee in case you've just joined us. Simon Murray is back with the captain's armband on up front. Jan Danda, having missed out at Tynecastle 2 weeks ago, is back in the starting lineup as well. Ash Hay and Joe Wesley, the players to drop out. Austin Trusty back for Celtic alongside Liam Scales. Rio Atati is replaced in the midfield by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and it's Thomas Chivanchira up front in preference to Kelechi Iheanacho. 3 changes for Martin O'Neill's team. The ball is on the centre spot and just about ready to go in the Tayside sunshine. A blustery wind around the ground, but pretty good conditions. The pitch certainly better than the one Celtic were playing on a fortnight back at Tannadice. Underway in the second match of this Sunday double bill, as Richard said, Livingston 2, Hearts 2 at Ammanvale, and Celtic with the big incentive of closing the gap at the top end and making it 3 points between the top 3. Throw in for Dundee, back it goes to Ryan Astley, and then with John McCracken in goals, and out to the hugely impressive Luke Graham alongside Astley. Central defence for Dundee, up to Simon Murray, and it's a strong start this from the home team. Ethan Hamilton driving forward, and now Cam Congreve out on the right side, feeds it in to Danda, back out for Brad Halliday. Congreve again, the Welsh winger, clips it in near post, and Simon Murray trying to get on the end of that. It's going to be a goal kick, he reckoned. That might have taken a clip off Scales, but it's a fast start from the home team, Tony.
Yeah, good start. You know, you mentioned Luke Graham there. I seen him last week playing for Scotland under 21s on this pitch against Czech Republic, and I thought he was head and shoulders above everybody. So he's been a fantastic player, and it'll be important today to make sure he keeps that Celtic front line quiet.
You can see the effect the wind is having on the ball when it's in the air. Here come Dundee again, stopped this time. Nygren gets a touch in the middle of the pitch. Lots of criticism about what Nygren offers as a midfield player, but you certainly can't criticise the goal total. 19 for Celtic, it's 20 for the season if you add his goal for Sweden into the mix as well. They've qualified, of course, through the playoffs for the World Cup, and he's hoping that that can inspire his Celtic teammates to claw their way back to the top of the Premiership. We shall see. Celtic in possession. Some of the players just getting a feel of the ball for the first time. Down the right side, Donovan to Yang. Nygren gets involved again. Just caught off balance, Colby Donovan, as he looked to link things together. Having lost it, he very quickly wins it back. And Callum McGregor back directing operations in the middle of the pitch. Scales stepping forward. Oxlade-Chamberlain, his first involvement, curling a ball into the box, and I think the wind probably got hold of that and took it into the gloves of John McCracken. Callum McGregor, your old partner in crime, Scott, continues to be hugely instrumental in everything Celtic do.
Yeah, he's a huge miss when he's not there, but you can see everything that comes through him. He leads the team by example. But he's one of those players that no matter what happens, he always continues to take the ball. He dictates play, but you can see him straight away organising, straight from off throw. There you go, organising. Team jump up the park at the same time now. But look, Cal's had a fantastic season yet again. He keeps going, he keeps turning out all these games, and as I said just before, the little break there's probably done him the world of good as well, coming back from that little niggle that you had.
Strong play from Tony Ugan down the left-hand side. It's hard to believe he was 19 when he signed. He's on loan, of course, from Brentford. He's just turned 20. He's a real unit down that left-hand side. Power and pace, and he's got better and better, Tony, hasn't he?
He has. He's improved as his Congreve as the season went on, and I think this game here, a match-up, just what I was going to say, it's going to be a battle. Whoever comes out on top in the wide areas between Maeda and Yang at Celtic and Congreve and Yogan, I think that'll be giving them the biggest opportunity to win the game.
Talking of Daisen Maeda, he was just trying to burst through there using his pace and power for Celtic down the left-hand side. Dundee teaming up to stop him, and the ball is now at the feet of Sinisalo, the Celtic keeper, and out to Liam Scales. Lots of these players involved here in October when Dundee won by 2-0. Celtic need to be better today. They can't afford to slip up. Trusty in possession, McGregor in between the two centre-backs, and he rolls the ball to Scales on his left. In behind it goes for Maeda, takes it in pretty well on the byline. That's a great ball across goal. It was screaming out for a finishing touch. Chavanchura couldn't get there. Yang coming in off the right side was closest, but he couldn't get on the end of that. Well, that was top quality from Maeda with that delivery from left side.
It's brilliant play, that. A great run. He just ducks one way and goes in behind Halliday to get in there, and his ball across is perfect, and it really is an opportunity I think Celtic should be taking.
To be fair, it's his pace that gets him away from, like Brad. I had Brad at Fleetwood. Brad's a very, very good player. Not the sharpest over 2-3 yards, and like that's why Maeda's going to play out this side, and he's going to go in behind all the time. Like you can even see now, Dundee are happy to go 3 for 3, which is very, very brave for Dundee, especially on that press from the goal when the goalie gets the ball as well. So fair play to Stephen and his team doing that.
So inviting, that ball across the bows of McCracken from Maeda, showing menace already down the left flank for Celtic. Back it goes from Danda to John McCracken, out to Luke Graham, very calm defensively. Needed a little bit of help from Finn Robertson. Back to McCracken and away. Out to the left-hand side, Dre Wright couldn't keep hold of it. Celtic have it in the centre circle with Trusty. Early on at Dens, Dundee 0, Celtic 0 on BBC Radio Scotland on the back of Livingston 2, Hearts 2, and of course yesterday at Ibrox, Rangers 4, Dundee United 2. Another compelling weekend in this Scottish Premiership story. Donovan curls one down the side, well seen and well cut out by Robertson. Back it goes for McCracken to unload, and the ball flies out of play on the far side for a Celtic throw. McGregor on the ball in the midfield. Murray tries to get close. Simon Murray will be perpetual motion as usual for Dundee in the main striking position. Ash Hay dropping out today. He's been one of those improved players for Stephen Presley this season, scored the winner in the derby. Luke Graham on the ball. There will be lots of interested parties come summertime looking to get their hands on him. Hamilton driving forward, losing the ball on halfway. Celtic have it.
Ball's turning over quite a lot here from Dundee when they get in possession, and they need to be careful of that. Celtic are dominating the ball at the moment, and you know what they're trying to do. Obviously Chamberlain at times is coming out into that false fullback, position and pushing Kieran Tierney on, and a lot of defending to do for the wide players at Dundee. They'll need to be switched on to that.
Scales fires it down the side for Maeda. Chivanchara working the 1-2. Maeda makes that his. Back for Tierney to swing the ball in. Missed by Luke Graham. McCracken makes the save, but it's bundled in the end. Celtic in front at Dents Park. And it's Benjamin Negron.
And it's kind of what we were saying there, Rob. It's these wide areas, you know, we're Celtic, and they've got the advantage here in that area. They've worked the ball into a good area. Again, Maeda's done well, and it's that ball across that we've seen earlier on that this time they capitalise on. But it's kind of been coming a little bit. They've been dominating possession, and they've been getting into the areas, particularly on Maeda's side. And no surprise, you talk about Negron, he's the one. I was actually surprised the earlier attempt that he wasn't there to go and score, but there he is now, and that gets him to 20 goals this season, which for a midfielder is an outstanding return.
What we're talking about as well is that false fullback. You can see Brad jumps forward to Chamberlain, and then Maeda's down the line against Ashley as well. So look, it's a hard one when your centre half's coming out against your winger that's got absolute rapid pace. But look, yet again, Nygren's in the right place at the right time and for a tap-in.
VAR is having a look at something. There's a delay on the restart.
Bet you don't miss this, Doc.
VAR. Honestly, it's trying to celebrate a goal, isn't it? You can't celebrate a goal, whether you're a manager, a coach, a supporter.
It's very slow. You can see the fans, they're all anxious now at this point in time. Everyone's sitting about. The ref doesn't know what to do with himself. The lads are all wondering. It's a hard environment to be in with VAR now. And look, I love how he gets most of the decisions right, but it has to be quicker.
Yeah, this is taking too long now. This has been a 2 or 3 minute period at the moment, and
yeah, they're deliberating over something, aren't they? Because they're taking ages. I think a possible offside here is being examined in the VAR room. Goal given, finally.
Second celebration, there we go.
Yeah, that's the relief.
That's the bigger one, that's the biggest one.
Well, we shouldn't really be surprised anymore about Benjamin Negron getting into those sort of positions, because all season long for Celtic, it's been right place, right time, and you sometimes think, why is he there? But it's so important for Celtic that he is there, and he's done it again, and it's 20 for the season.
Yeah, it reminds me similar to a Chris Commons kind of player. Everyone used to talk about Chris, what he gave off the ball and stuff like that, but he gave us 20 goals a season. So look, sometimes you have to give up for that, because that's a talent in itself. Somebody to score 20 goals playing in that number 8 position, and like, as I say, like, we always talk about your 8s, your wingers getting in the box, and that's what he does.
And it's almost uncoachable, that, Renee. Sometimes it's a knack. You know, you get into a good area, and of course strikers do it, but for a midfielder it's more difficult, because you've got to time your running. You're running by midfield players and onto defenders, so you've got to make sure that runs on point every time, and it's something he's just got a huge knack of doing.
I totally agree. It's a great thing to have in football, and those goals have been vital, because look, number 9's not been scoring it this season for Celtic, so somebody has to step up.
And I suppose Chris Commons was criticised at times for elements missing in his game as well, but he
running back the way.
Running at all.
But to be fair, he had the talent as well. He had it for 25-30 yards as well. He had an unbelievable left and right foot, but he had power, and it was another thing. It was an act, how to score a goal, how to get in there at the right place at the right time.
I thought he had a real talent in that final moment. He used to slow down, just pass things in.
Yeah, he had the X factor, and see, when you had him, Griffiths, people that wanted to score goals, it's an unbelievable thing to have.
Chivanchara 25 yards out, and never looked convincing really over the ball, and he's chipped it well over the top.
I think just that run we were talking about again, he's got an opportunity to play Maeda in there. Maeda just run in behind Halliday there, and he's got an opportunity just to slip him in, and it's probably a one-touch finish, but he takes on the shot, and I think it's an opportunity Celtic have passed up.
Tony, how do you look at that goal from a Dundee point of view?
I think, like we said earlier on, Celtic are dominating the ball. They're working into the Oxlade-Chamberlain's getting into that false fullback, and they're overloading the wide areas. So I think they can, that your wide players are then asked to defend quite a lot, and I don't think they defended that situation particularly well.
Finn Robertson driving down the left-hand side, but just doesn't find the final ball, and it trundles through to Sinisalo. Innes Cameron scored for Raith Rovers in the Challenge Cup final against Inverness, and they lead by 1-0 with half an hour gone.
That's little areas that Nygren can tidy up on. Very slow with the ball there, and the centre-halves managed to jump out and get it to him, but like that's what you want. You want him to try and get in those areas just in behind the midfield and in front of the two centre-halves as well.
Dundee looking to recover from conceding the first goal of the game. Nygren, Celtic a goal up, Congreve in possession. Halliday fires it forward. In comes Donovan from the right-hand side to get on top of the ball and get it back to Sinisalo. Celtic have it with Scales. 90% of the Dens Park playing surface bathed in sunshine, and the Celtic fans happy with the start their team have made. 20th goal of the season for Nygren, his 20th Celtic goal. He's made quite an impact, and Celtic continue to lean on him for important goals at important times. Throw in Dundee midway inside the Celtic half, right hand side. Halliday with it, gets it back from Danda, and it's prodded back out of play by Oxlade-Chamberlain.
I think the rest has done Celtic well. Like the international break, they've came out, they're firing, they seem to be back into that 4-3-3 with acceleration. Both wingers were getting high up the park as well, and Nygren being that extra body that's getting into the box as well, but their press has looked a lot better as well.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know what a break's going to do for you, but it looks as if it maybe has done Celtic some good.
Yeah, it freshens everybody up, and it's good to get some time away from football as well and stop thinking about it, because it is a pressured environment.
Tony Ugan with a little touch and turn, and the ball's gone over the touchline left-hand side for Dundee. Donovan relieved because he was looking at Ugan's heels there as he disappeared down the left side, but it's a interesting little battle between the 20-year-old Ugan, 19-year-old Colby Donovan.
Yeah, and I think that's what Dundee need to do. You need to get their wide players. They've not been involved in the game yet. That was a wee cameo there. You can see if Ugan does get on the ball, it can create, but I think if you keep Dundee's wide players quiet, that's a big part of certainly their attacking prowess.
A looping back pass for John McCracken to deal with. He could probably have done without that, but he managed to deal with it pretty well. He chested it down and he booted it away, the Dundee goalkeeper. Dundee 0, Celtic 1. Scales in the centre circle for Celtic, steers a pass wide for Tierney. First time infield for Maeda. Touch back towards Oxlade-Chamberlain. Hamilton's challenge. Oxlade-Chamberlain holds him off. The ball rolled out wide for Yang, heading for the byline, tries to lift it into the danger zone, blocked.
Again, that's that combination play you're seeing down this left-hand side with Oxlade-Chamberlain, Tierney and Maeda.
Corner kick taken short, taken quickly. Celtic looking to do more damage, and it's a decent hit from Oxlade-Chamberlain from long range. It was awkward, but he managed to get a fair bit of power on it. It was straight at McCracken, but it was hit with a fair bit of venom. The Dundee goalkeeper with the ball at his feet. Out it goes to Ryan Astley. Right hand side, Chavanchara working hard to put some pressure on. Then it's Halliday holding off a couple of Celtic players. They were both on the deck, and it's a free kick for Dundee taken quickly.
It's going to be a long day for Halliday. You can see he's battling away with Maeda every time he gets the ball as well. But it's his pace that's a killer for Halliday, because as soon as Maeda starts to run, he scares people, he scares defenders.
It must be a nightmare to play against as well, Bruno, because his work rate against the ball is just relentless.
Oh, look at where he is now. He's left back there. He's happy enough to do the dirty work.
It's not that he's happy enough, he's fit enough, you know, and it's up and down constantly for 90 minutes. I'd love to see his distance covered in a game.
I think it'll be slightly higher than mine in years now anyway, that's for sure. We struggled to walk up for the car park to here.
That's true, right.
You got a taxi, didn't you? Down goes Dre Wright, free kick for Dundee. The push by Yang, and the free kick right in the middle of the pitch, about 15 yards inside the Celtic half. Danda squares it to Halliday, wide as Cam Congreve, and from him back to Halliday. Big looping cross into the middle, punched by Sinisalo, one of those that you wondered whether he could have caught it, but he punched it, and it's down the pitch now, and in fact so with his opposite number, John McCracken. Out it goes to right to Yugan on the touchline in the small shaded area, left-hand side, as Dundee look to work the ball forward. Out it goes. Chivanchara certainly getting through a fair bit of work for Celtic around the pitch. The ball out for a throw-in just inside the Dundee half.
There's a real intensity about Celtic out of possession, I think, today. Any time that Dundee they passed up, there's been a lot of transitions from them because it's the intensity of the press. As soon as they lose it, they're so hard working to get it back again.
Yeah, that's probably helped going back again, and it was obviously hard on Dundee United's pitch, with it being sand-based, so soft as well. But the press, you've got to spot on, Doc. They look like they've got a lot of energy into them, and it's definitely helped that international break.
Across the pitch from Dre Wright to Ryan Astley, and a few hearts and mouths around us among the Dundee fans as Celtic looked as if they might be able to cut that out, but it did reach its target. Out it goes from McCracken to Luke Graham, the 22-year-old centre back.
I'm liking the look of Luke Graham. How was he when he was with you? He played a couple of times against us with World Cup last season.
Yeah. I gave him his debut, Bruni. He played in the derby against Dundee United, start of last season.
Are you taking credit for him?
No, but what I would say John McGlynn probably would, because I put him out on loan to Falkirk knowing that he would get developed.
Dundee coughing up possession in the midfield, and Chivanchara suddenly with galloping up towards the edge of the box. They don't want to be suffering any more damage at this stage. Dundee a goal down, and in the end it's booted away by Brad Halliday. Trusty first there with a header. Wright gets a good touch on it and just cushions a pass towards Yogan, and then gets the ball straight back. Celtic working really hard at constantly pressurising Dundee when they're in possession.
No, getting back to that, Bruni, I thought it was he made his debut, but I couldn't guarantee him minutes, and I thought the boy needs to get minutes, and he went out to playing that Falkirk team, the Invincibles, with John McGlynn, and developed unbelievable, and he's continued that development here. And as I say, I watched him in the 21s the other night against Czech Republic, and I thought he was head and shoulders, and he's just a good boy. He's such a keen learner, and he's got so much more composed in the ball. He was always a good defender, really, really good in both boxes, but now his composure, I think, is taking him another level.
Yeah, calmness was the word I was going to use about him, Tony. He has that all over. He not one to panic when he's under pressure. And now on the ball for Dundee, Ethan Hamilton right in the middle of the pitch. He tried to get it out wide right for Cam Congreve, but he was about 10 yards ahead of where the pass ended up, and it goes out for a Celtic throw. Tierney to Scales, and back to Sinisalo. I think, Tony, there are going to be a lot of interested parties about Luke Graham in the summer, eh?
I'm sure there will be, because he's shown a level of consistency now, and for a young player, and that's why it's so important, I think, for young players like that to get minutes, and that's what he did. But I say he's been out in Falkirk, and Dundee have benefited from that.
Finn Robertson doing some shirt tugging in the midfield. Oxlade-Chamberlain got the pass away, and the ball is flashed across goal by Yang. And Dyson Maeda ends up in the back of the net. The ball almost scrapes the post on its way wide.
From one winger to the other winger, it's inch perfect play almost, and he's very, very close to just touching that in. And look, it's a break, and it's the pace again of Yang and Maeda that's catching them on the counter, shall we say.
Inverness pitching for promotion from League One have levelled things up in the Challenge Cup final. Wraith 1, Inverness 1. It's going to be, it's Inverness against Dennismuir, isn't it, for the title in League One. Alfie Stewart has scored. What a season he is having on loan from Aberdeen. I guess a lot of Aberdeen fans are probably saying, why is he out on loan doing so well for Inverness when the Dons are struggling so badly? But it's 1-1 in that Challenge Cup final, and it's live on BBC Alapa. Here at Dens in the Premiership, Dundee 0, Celtic 1. And Stephen Presley's team trying to plot a way back from conceding.
This is a chance, you know, there's
goal.
opportunities, long throws, corners into the box, you know. Luke Graham getting first contact on that, they flooded the box. This is an opportunity to get back in the game for Dundee.
In comes the long throw from Ryan Astley, aiming at Graham, well defended by Celtic. Goes straight back out from whence it came, and Astley will do same again. Taking as long a run up as he can manage here. Astley again flings the ball in. Graham flicks it on. There's a miscue from Celtic. Graham, Robertson at the edge of the area, clipped it back in. No takers in dark blue, and Sinisalo thumps it down the pitch to Chivanchara, who gets the ball down and starts running at Dre Wright. Wright in the end comes out on top, crossing halfway, tries to link up with Simon Murray. Maybe could have taken a bit longer on the pass. It goes Wright again. Down he goes, the Dundee left back. Still down, no free kick. Negron pushing forward for Celtic. Slots it through for Maeda, and his shot is blocked by the legs of McCracken as Celtic threaten to score again. Chivanchara squares it at the edge of the box. McGregor rolls it back out wide.
Celtic got them locked in. Dundee defending very, very deep. They've got 11 men and about 30 yards out.
Scales has a go from 30 yards, always on the rise and well off target.
I just think again the intelligence of the run with Maeda. He makes the out to in runs and he gets in behind there, and it's a good save with John McCracken. It's another shot on target for Celtic, but I think you're right, you know, they're really up in the tempo, and on that counter attack they look such a threat.
Those are the shots that sometimes squeeze through. It was hit with bags of power, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, or a little knock, a deflection, or whatever, it bounces back at them. Like, Stephen's still quite calm down there as he usually is. He's writing in his notepad. I'm sure he'll be taking a lot of tips from what he needs to be probably setting up for the second half.
One thing we're not going to see from him is jumping up and down and ranting and raving on the touchline.
No, both managers are quite calm. Like, Sean's been out a few times, Martin's been out a few times, but it's been quite a controlled game from Celtic so far, so I'm sure Martin will be very, very happy with the performance level so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive from Celtic so far. Looking to close the gap at the top. If they can win this, they move to within 3 of Hearts, who are on 67, Rangers 66, and well, pick your winner of the title. Yogan with a little spin, lovely bit of footwork from Tony Ugana on the left-hand side. Dundee fans enjoyed that. Meantime, the ball is with Astley to Halliday on the opposite flank. In towards Congreve, slips it through to Simon Murray. Just inside the box. Played it back out for Brad Halliday to have a swipe at it. I think that was probably a bit of a swipe, and it was well off target.
Better play by Dundee, and it's no surprise that Tony Ugan's involved in that. You know, as I said earlier on, they need to get their wide players on the ball to have that kind of advancement up the pitch.
26 minutes in, Dundee 0, Celtic 1. BBC Radio Scotland. Danda touches the ball back. Astley has to be sharp because that man Maeda was a shadow cast over him at that point.
Maeda pressing the goalie, I love it. I love it. Wingers, he just keeps going, honestly. He's a Duracell bunny.
Halliday down the line for Dundee. Congreve tries to keep it under pressure from Scales. Danda's pass intercepted by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Forward to Maeda, lovely head flick. Chivanchara takes a heavy touch, and that allows Luke Graham to cover across brilliantly.
Really, really well.
Brilliant play, great play by Luke.
The ball is won on the halfway line by Congreve. Now he's on the move and he's linking with Ugan. The two wingers combining. 25 yards out, Tony Ugan. One way, then the other, down the left side. Can Dundee create something here? A goal down to Celtic. Ugan's cross ball floated back post, and it's going to bounce behind. Brad Halliday tried to make up the ground and get there. Not the final ball, but the last few minutes have been a bit more encouraging maybe for Dundee.
I thought Robertson's run was poor, if I was honest, because he's ran out and he's kind of taking the space away for Gugan to get him 1v1 with Donovan, because I'm sure he wants an opportunity to get him direct. He's not had a lot of the ball, but look, he seems a live wire. He seems like he's got a bunch of tricks as well, so I'm intrigued to see what he's like for this full 90 minutes.
Celtic know the job that has to be done here today. It doesn't matter if it's pretty, it doesn't matter if it's the beautiful game, as long as it adds up to 3 points. And that would mean that they are that little bit closer to the top end of the Premiership, and they keep themselves in contention. 13 of the last 14 titles. Can they keep that run going? Dre Wright attacking down the left-hand side. His pass cut out, and now he's scrapping to win the ball back, and he does really well. Real determination there from Dre Wright, and he's unlucky, I think, in the end to have a free kick given against him. You certainly couldn't criticise his fight there.
I was just saying that to Bruni. You see a good play that, you know, by Danda and Robertson to get it out into the wide areas, but Celtic's press to get it back, you know, the intensity is right up there at the moment, and it's making it really difficult for Dundee.
They really do look as if they've got the right mindset on here today, Celtic. Oxlade-Chamberlain in the centre circle, firing a pass wide right for Yang, and now back into the middle with Trusty and Scales, and Murray buzzing around trying to get close. Donovan, McGregor, it's all operating pretty well at the moment for Celtic, but the long ball from Callum McGregor was just caught again in the breeze, and even Daisen Maeda couldn't catch it.
Yeah, you've seen him and Chamberlain both want to make that run in behind. Chamberlain looks to have found his feet now. He's obviously had a slow start, not playing that much games, but now he seems to be getting into it and understanding how Celtic want to play and how they want to press too.
Even like that, Bruni, that what you said earlier on about the international break, he's obviously been doing some work, because you can see last couple of games I've seen him, you know, it doesn't depend how good a player you are, you need to have the minutes under your belt, and you can see now, just watching him, he looks fitter, he looks more match fit, sorry should I say, he looks more match fit.
Yeah, it's that sharpness that everyone obviously takes for granted as well, and getting minutes on the park, and like you know better than anyone, Doc, how key it is to get your top players on the park, and look, he is a fantastic player, and you can see his calmness and quality on the ball.
On the ball, Ugan for Dundee, left-hand side. Now picks up the pace, powers towards the byline. Ugan has crossed into the middle, headed away by Trusty. Now Finn Robertson. Back in it comes from the Dundee midfielder. Donovan's headed away. Collected by Luke Graham. Rolled into the middle towards Danda, takes a touch, and Maeda was right on top of him. And now Chivanchira charging down the middle, and he's hit the post. Out came McCracken. He got the ball past the Dundee keeper. It bounces back off the upright, and Dundee survive, and it stays 1-0.
I don't know how they survived that, if I'm honest. It should have been in the back of the net.
He's got to score. But you see the work again, like we spoke about earlier on. He's got no right to win that ball in the middle of the pitch, Maeda. It's a 60-40 against him. He wins it and the ball breaks for the big striker, and he should score. You know, he's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper there. You should, your centre forward should be scoring that.
That's what you want. You want your centre forward in those moments in time.
Danda driving with the ball right in the middle of the pitch. Dundee a goal behind, could have been 2. Congreve to the byline, clipped in near post, whipped away by Scales, out for a throw-in close to the corner flag. 1-0 Celtic could so easily, should have been 2-0. I think Chivanchira thought it was in when he struck it, but it comes back off the post. And it's a big moment for Dundee.
Going to see another long throw here. Look, Celtic's not the biggest team, so Dundee's probably thinking they can use their physicality, especially the wide players as well, getting in the box there, and centre half's going up. So no.
Winding up for another long throw. Astley headed away at the near post by Scales. Free kick given by Stephen McLean, and 31.5 minutes on the clock. Dundee 0, Celtic 1. Dundee still very much in the game, but it's all about fractions, isn't it? And had that Chivanchira effort gone in rather than hit the post, it was going to be a long way back for Dundee from 2 down against a Celtic side who are moving and grooving at times in this first half, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain had a real opportunity, bursting down the middle, takes a heavy touch and the ball gets away from him, and you could see the whites of John McCracken's eyes as he was sprinting forward. Out for Dundee to Brad Halliday, right hand side. Back it goes for Astley. Fired forward. Tierney wins the header. The ball spins the way of Finn Robertson. Clipped forward for Ugan. On the overlap is Dre Wright. Wright collects it and has a look. Left foot, cross ball, flashed across goal, but he doesn't really get his left foot wrapped around it, and it flies behind in the end. It was a good position there for Wright.
I think he's just got to delay a little bit, you know, because there's not enough support going in the box. He puts the ball in early, and I think he has to wait for the support of Ugan, where he can maybe even go around and overlap or underlap him, but certainly get more bodies in an area where they can, you know, they can affect the chance of scoring a goal. 33
minutes gone at Dens Park, and you're with BBC Radio Scotland. Dundee 0, Celtic 1. Luke Graham sends it forward from halfway. Scales there for Celtic. Tierney volleys the ball down the pitch, and again it's Graham getting a touch on it. It was 2 against 1, not in his favour if he'd taken a bad touch. Danda fires it towards Congreve. Congreve against Scales on his left foot, and he just seemed to get caught in 2 minds about what he was going to do, and he choked the shot, and it was pretty much straight at Sinisalo.
That's what we're talking about on the other end as well. You don't want your centre halves being dragged all the way out there if they don't have to, especially against the wingers that are sharp. They manipulate the ball really, really well, and like we end up getting a shot off. I think that's the first shot on target for Dundee.
Dre Wright to Tony Ugan, left hand side. You the stats man?
Stattle.
Luke Graham to Ryan Astley at the back for Dundee.
33 minutes, Bruni.
Danda down the side for Congreve, just bounces off Cam Congreve and out of play right in front of Stephen Presley, and the Dundee dugout. We're almost into the last 10 minutes of the first half. And it's been a good watch, hasn't it, Tony?
It's been good, yeah. I've enjoyed the game. Celtic really dominant, you know, but I think the last 5 minutes probably Dundee have come more into the game, and it's, as I say, it's no coincidence that particularly Ugan and Congreve this side have been more influential in the game.
Simon Murray gathering the ball. It was awkward at the time, but he did well to steer it to Congreve. Now it's with Luke Graham, who fires it down the middle. Bit of a miscue from him. He holds the hand of acknowledgement up in the air. Didn't get it right that time, but he is key to Dundee's chances here, because they can't afford to be conceding again. Still very much in the match as things stand, playing with plenty of belief when they start to move the ball forward. Out far side, throw in Celtic. Donovan to Trusty, back with Sinisalo, and on the other side is Scales. Dundee pressing. Liam Scales fires it forward to Chivanchira, who was Luke Graham at his back. Danda was playing his part as well as Dundee won possession. Lovely ball steered through by Graham for Congreve, right hand side, tries to stand it up. Trusty's header away for Celtic. Goal scorer Negron on the ball. First time I've mentioned him for a while. He does drift out of the game at times, but he has the only goal of this game so far. Ugan bursting forward down the left hand side, so strong. Donovan holds him up meantime. Still it's Ugan heading for the byline again, twists back onto his right foot. Can he deliver? In comes the floated cross ball. Scales gets his head to it. Then it's Tierney powering the ball out of that penalty box and up towards Chivanchira. The ball out in the end for a throw-in. It's hugely competitive, this.
Just watching that, but Uganda's great. But I think Congreve, when you're a winger on the opposite side, I think you've got to get in the inside of the fullback there.
100%. Yeah, you look at Celtic. That's how they get the goals.
Yeah,
the wingers coming in opposite end, and Congreve's happy enough.
I think Congreve, he's sitting out there, you know, he's waiting for something to be stood up. I think, you know, the defender's facing the other way. If you get on that blind side of him, you get an opportunity to score a goal, and I'm sure that's something they'll speak about at half time.
It's actually a good challenge for the 2 wingers and 2 fullbacks on both teams. So it's interesting, because we talked about that before the game. That's what's going to, and they've got a goal from that so far.
Yeah, I think whoever comes out on top in the wide areas will win the match.
Throw in Celtic just underneath us. Well, quite a way underneath us. We're at the back of the main stand at Dens, looking down on the sun-kissed playing surface. Very entertaining first half. Celtic on good form and in front by that Benjamin Negron goal to 0. Nothing serious for Sinisalo to deal with so far. Dundee have had their moments, but maybe just lacking decision-making, execution at times in the final third to really put some pressure on Celtic, who play the ball up to Chivanchura. And it's Oxlade-Chamberlain slotting it through the middle. Negron had made the move. Danda just got a faint touch on the ball. I think Negron trying to persuade the referee that was a back pass. Don't think so. And McCracken pounces on the ball.
Again, it's that up back through movement with Celtic, you know, and he's just off it there, Negron. His touch is better, he's in goal, but it's the lay-off of Chivanchara. Brilliant, you know, and the ball up to him, and that's the type of movement that'll get them in.
I think there are 12 variations, Tony, on the pronunciation of his name, to be honest.
And I didn't get it, one of them right there.
Apparently, if you think...
big striker.
Apparently, if you think tarantula, it's along those lines. Free kick Dundee on halfway, 1-0 Celtic heading for half-time. And just 6.5 minutes of this first 45 remaining.
Not really seen much of Danda. You can see he's getting pulled back in the middle of the park as well, because he's playing as one of those eights, and you can see Chamberlain running forward, and he's having to track all the way back, and I'm sure he doesn't want to be there.
And that's a really important position, isn't it, for Dundee in terms of creative?
Yeah, 100%. You want to see your creative players higher up the park, and due to Celtic's domination in the first 25-30 minutes there, he's getting pulled all the way back.
Here is Danda on the ball, slots it forward for Brad Halliday. Sprinting up towards the edge of the box. Now he veers right and tries to get the cross in from the byline, but he didn't get his right boot around it, and it floats behind the goal of Sinisalo. And we're in the 40th minute at Dens Park, and Celtic lead here by a goal to 0, looking for the 3 points that gets them within 3 of top spot. Sinisalo to take the goal kick. That shaded area in front of his goal is getting bigger. I wonder, is that because the sun's moving?
Yeah, you can see what Celtic's trying to do as well. They're goalie to Scales into big striker, into one of the eights coming in behind, and they're just missing out the press with Dundee, because Dundee's going man for man. They're being extremely brave at this moment in time.
And that's when they get that right, you know, because Luke Graham's man for man with a big striker you mentioned, then they can get that up back through, because then your midfield runners, as is the case here, if he takes a better touch, as is the case, the midfield runners, particularly Negron, can make the runs off.
Dre Wright with the back pass to John McCracken. He didn't get hold of it at all, but he got enough on it that it reached its target. Yang was definitely interested, and a little bit less on that, and he was very interested. Earlier today, Livingston 2, Hearts 2. Drop points for Derek McInnes and his team. Or is it just +1 towards winning the title? Who knows? They're a point ahead of Rangers. Celtic looking to close within 3. Dundee lose the ball, and it's Negron at the edge of the area. Touches it towards Chivanchura, and he doesn't get the shot away.
I think Chivanchura, he's got to do better. He's 15 yards out, and it's a free shot at goal.
He's got to find a corner.
Yeah, it's a soft finish. It's right into the goalie's hands.
Danda on the ball for Dundee. Weaves back to find some room, gets it from Halliday. Outside of the boot, up to Simon Murray. In goes Scales to win it. Chivanchura with a layoff. Negron sprinting up to the edge of the box, left-hand side. His cross blocked. His hands were in the air looking for a penalty there. It was blocked by Astley. Back it goes to McGregor. Now Tierney. Back with Negron on the left side. Clipped in towards McGregor. Murray gets there first. But McGregor picking the pocket of Halliday. Out on the left side. Tierney's cross ball in. Headed away by Luke Graham. Collected by Colby Donovan, 30 yards from goal. Well, that would have been something special for the teenager if that had gone in. He curled it, but it went just wide.
Yet again, Cal McGregor's press, anticipating where the ball's going to go. He ends up at left wing pressing, and then his willingness to go and get the ball, and then calmness on the ball as well, picks out Kieran, then Kieran puts the ball in the box. So no, it's good play. We keep talking about Celtic's press. It's relentless at this moment in time.
It's 42 minutes gone at Dens Park, and it's Dundee 0, Celtic 1, heading for half-time. Still very much in the balance this game. Celtic have performed pretty well. Dundee have had their moments, but it hasn't really, for the home team, added up to concrete goal-scoring chances. Yang to Tierney, bounding down the left side, having a look at what's available, spinning around. Dundee teaming up to stop him. Congreve and Halliday now with Danda. Celtic still pressurising, trying to keep Dundee in that corner. The ball goes out for a throw-in. Tierney with it. Back it goes to the captain. Now Scales for Oxlade-Chamberlain, back with Trusty on the halfway line. Celtic looking very purposeful. They know what needs to be done. Donovan to Yang, connecting those two down the right side. Into the 44th minute we go. Nygren's goal, the only one. What a season the Swedish midfielder is having. Donovan plays the ball up. Graham tries to get there. Chivanchira holding him off, screening the ball until Luke Graham finally pounced. Then he floats it forward towards Simon Murray.
It's that ball again, straight to the striker's feet. Then he's looking for runners up. I think he should probably do better at that point in time, but look, it's relentless pressure yet again. Cal McGregor picking up the ball from a slack pass from Dundee, and they're right in Dundee's final third.
McGregor getting the ball back from Tierney. Alongside him, Nygren up to the edge of the box. Oxlade-Chamberlain is there, takes a tumble. Dundee get it away, but only as far as Tierney on the left. Whipped back in. Nygren is there again, looking to get on the end of it. And it's booted away by Brad Halliday, and he manages to find Tony Ugan on the left-hand side, who's not getting much change out of Colby Donovan, it would have to be said.
Colby's done really well, and like, he's a young lad as well, and there's opportunities for him now to go and take these next 6 games and hopefully in his stride, and he keeps going, but he's dealt with Ugan really well at this point in time.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's an interesting tussle, that one, and Colby Donovan will be pretty happy with what he's done so far, because Tony Ugan is a big player for Dundee. Ethan Hamilton had to hurry in the midfield, and he's given it away again. It's McGregor intercepting, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, well, he's trying to explain what that pass was. He whipped it forward. It didn't find its target, and it's gone behind for a goal kick, and we're at 45 minutes, and there's going to be one added. Celtic a goal ahead at Dens.
It's just another example there where, you know, Dundee are in possession of the ball, and they're actually swarming all around them, the Celtic team. And a poor pass, I think, by Oxlade-Chamberlain. I know what he's trying to do there, but it's just the intensity that they go and win the ball back with. That's been a story, I think, of the first half. Yeah,
it's that midfield 3 versus 3. Celtic are coming out on top at this moment in time. Stephen will be going in at half-time, hoping it stays at 1-0 so he can change a few things around.
Maida chasing what looked a really difficult ball to get on the end of, but somehow he manages it, and he's now holding off Luke Graham and rolling the ball back to Kieran Tierney. Maida been a big player for Celtic in this first half. It's been a great team performance for Martin O'Neill and co so far. Exactly what they wanted. They know they have to be at it today, and they have been so far. A minute added, and that is half-time at Dens, and Celtic are halfway to closing the gap to 3 points at the top of the Scottish Premiership on the back of Hearts' draw in West Lothian earlier against Livingston. It's Benjamin Nygren with the only goal of this game so far. 20 Celtic goals is an incredible total, and it could have been 2-0 Celtic at half-time. Should have been 2-0 as Chivanchira bounded through the middle, and so his shot bounced back off the post. Half-time on Tayside. Dundee 0, Celtic 1.
Dundee versus Celtic.
The Scottish Premiership.
live on Sports Sound.
If you need help on this, you're not alone. In the Martin Lewis podcast, I'll give you tips to keep more cash in your pocket and answer your important questions.
Now that we're starting from scratch, what is the best way for us to move forward?
To help your everyday finances just add up. Let's see what we can do. The Martin Lewis podcast. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. We'll give Tony and Scott just a few moments to gather their thoughts in the wake of that opening 45 minutes at Dens Park. Benjamin Negron's 20th goal of the season. It came early, and it means that Celtic have that advantage, an advantage that, should they maintain it or indeed add to it, will see them move just a little bit closer to both Rangers and Hearts, the two sides above them in the Premiership table. We'll get reaction from Almondvale shortly. Just a quick update on everything that's been going on so far in Scottish football. In the SWPL, Montrose 2, Aberdeen 1, couple of late goals for the home side there. Hibernian and Partick Thistle drew 0-0. It's Motherwell 3, Hamilton 0. The big one is tonight, 7:30, kick-off on the BBC Scotland channel. It's Glasgow City take on Hearts. What a game that could be. In the English FA Cup this afternoon, it's West Ham United 0, Leeds United 1. Just getting towards the end of the first half there. Ayo Tanaka with the only goal so far. And in the Challenge Cup final at Firhill, Wraith Rovers 1, Cali Thistle 1 early in the second half. Innes Cameron scored the opener for Wraith Rovers, capitalising on a mistake by Alfie Stewart. He got caught out, but the midfielder made up for that. Just 8 minutes later, a magnificent curled free kick from about 20 yards, which beat the wall and the goalkeeper. All ends up. So still, Wraith Rovers 1, Cali Thistle 1. That game is currently live on BBC Alapa. Right, earlier we had a 2-2 draw at Almondvale. Stevie May put Livingston in front early on with what was his 50th goal in the Premiership. Lawrence Shanklin with a really strong, powerful header made it 1-1. Claudio Braga 2-1 for Hearts. Again a header. Both players on 16 for the season, but Hearts kept the lead for just 7 minutes. Lewis Smith levelling up at the back post. Hearts couldn't really create very much from there on in, and were reduced to 10 men deep into stoppage time when Mark Leonard was sent off, a judge to have denied Robbie Muirhead a goal-scoring opportunity. So 2-2 it finished. Afterwards, Derek McInnes gave his reaction to our reporter Brian McLaughlin.
I'm not happy, more disappointed than anything, because I think we'd done so much to get ourselves in front, and we needed to enjoy being in front a bit more. I think it was 7 minutes between both goals, and I thought we came out second half. I thought we felt the goal was coming. I thought when we were good in the game, we were very good. I thought when we were polished and connected the game well and looked after the ball well, I thought we were very good. And at times in the game, we looked like a team at the top of the league, but there was just too many moments where we were sloppy, a bit anxious with some of our defending. The gaps were too big between us at times. Second goal's a ridiculous goal to lose. So we're disappointed with that. And I think you kind of keep pulling yourself off the canvas, and you know, we've still half an hour to go. I wanted to try and carry a bit more threat in that. But what you've got to remember is you're up against a team now at the bottom of the league, and they've all of a sudden got something to hang on to. And at 2-1, they were struggling to cope, and we needed to really kind of hammer home that authority. We missed the opportunity to really stay in charge of the game, stay in control of the game, stay in the lead for longer, and maybe the next goal comes and it's a Hearts goal. And what we did psychologically, in terms of giving that away, was give the opposition a boost. And you've got to credit Livingston, they hang on to that, they're fighting tooth and nail, but from our perspective, both goals were so poor from us, not the types of goals we ordinarily lose. You know, I just thought individually we were just a wee bit off it with some of our defensive work. And that's, the first goal was not just the back lot, the first goal, the press wasn't right from the front. And we've got to make better decisions with that. If you can't get the press right at the outset, then you make sure you don't go making a difficult situation a bit worse and throw petrol on a fire, and all of a sudden we're running towards our own goal and it's all a bit too anxious. So, and listen, when you play against a team who's set up to counter-attack, sometimes it can be man for man if you give away possession. That aside, we go a point clear with 6 games to go. We're still top of the league, and people need to remember that. I'm trying to kind of keep myself in check with that. It's a missed opportunity today, but we have to be honest and say that the point was probably all we deserved. And for me, it might be a really important point come the end of the season, so we're not going to get too hung up on it. But it does put more scrutiny on the games coming up, and obviously we want to make sure we win the next home game, which will be tough enough as well.
What was your thoughts on the red card?
I've not seen it back. I thought it was a bit unusual that where it was in the pitch, but I thought Jamie McCart might have get back to the cover, even ball side, and I thought maybe it was Ocean maybe getting back round the particular. I don't know, but maybe there is an argument for Big Muirhead that he would maybe get 30-40 yards towards our goal, and who's to say he's not going to manipulate a shot. But I don't think he would have got straight in and go without a challenge for somebody. But I'm not going to fight the odds with that one.
It's 1 point from 12 in the last 4 away games now, Derek, and you've got 3 games in the next 6 to come up. Does it concern you, the recent run of away form? I
think we've got the best away record in the league. I think we've had a poor 20 minutes at Kilmarnock really, when we got ourselves behind, but we didn't do enough to win that game either. So the last couple we've been guilty of losing poor goals and not doing enough to win games. I think we're going to have to be really strong with our home form as we have been all season, but there's no doubting that a couple of big results on the road wouldn't do us any harm, and that's where we need to try and address it. I think what you're seeing is a brilliant atmosphere today. The fans did their bit, and like you see at a lot of games, a lot of teams will thrive on that, and we've got to recognise that we are a bigger scalp than maybe we were at the start of the season, and we've got to make sure that we come with that and do better as we go along. So, but it was a lot about the game was good today. I thought we looked back to our attacking threat. Obviously scored 2 goals away from home, you expect to win it, but we've lost 2 poor goals, and ultimately we've lost 2 points because of it. At times we looked like a team at the top of the league today. I thought we looked too strong at times, and that's why I'm annoyed that we've let the moment go with the second goal we lose to stay in charge of the game, stay in control and enjoy being in charge of it. And we just got to make sure that we're a wee bit more secure with our work, a bit more solid with our work, because whenever we've had our best results, particularly away from home, it's from a solid platform.
Darren McInnes there chatting with Brian. We'll pick up on that a little bit later. Innes Cameron has just got his second of the afternoon from close range. A free kick whipped in to the middle of the penalty area, and it's Cameron who is on target early in the second half. It could turn out to be a very good signing for Dougie Imrie and Raith Rovers. A couple of goals this afternoon. He's on to 5 for the season during the short time he's been in Kirkcaldy. Raith Rovers back in front in the Challenge Cup final, 2-1 against Cali Thistle. It's 1-0 Celtic at half-time. Scott Brown and Tony Docherty with Rob for the commentary. We'll get back to them for the action shortly. A few reflections though on the first 45. Scott Martin is going to be delighted with most of what he saw from his team, other perhaps than the finishing.
Yeah, 100%. I think the main thing is to win the game no matter what for Celtic. To come win 1-0 in at half-time, they'll be a little bit disappointed at the same time that maybe not 2, because Vanahan just went straight through on goal, and you're expecting your striker to do a lot better than that. But I think overall Celtic's controlled the game, large parts of the game, and the main thing is they've kept the door closed at the back, because they've had one shot on target the whole time, Dundee, so that locking out from the back is going to be an important thing.
Yeah, look, clearly, Tony, they're going to have to make sure that they keep it that way, Celtic at the back. They haven't really offered Dundee much hope at all. At the other end, they have been a threat. Maida has just been incredible at times.
He's a different level, isn't he? Like every time I see him, he gets fitter and fitter and stronger, and it'd be a delight to play with, because even Kieran's got great energy going forward, but you just see this guy, he goes forward, he sprints back in, and he's a nuisance for 90 minutes, and he's a willing runner to go in behind, but he also wants to do the hard part of the game. That's that defensive part, and he sets the press, and then the midfield go with him as well, and that's what I think Celtic's got spot on today.
Tony, I think there's been a lot made of the fact that Celtic just haven't found the answer in terms of a centre forward that's going to score goals regularly. Shvanchara has again shown weakness in that respect so far this afternoon, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he should have a couple of goals. You know, the one he hits the post where he's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. There's also a shot that he goes straight at John McCracken when he should go in a corner. But I think the dominance of Celtic, you see in the match stats, Celtic with 11 shots and 6 in target. You know, there's only been 1 shot on target from Dundee, but you know, as long as the score's 1-0, Dundee are still in this match. You know, I anticipate they might possibly change things, maybe bring on a midfielder, because I think Celtic are absolutely winning the battle in midfield. You know, they're picking up second balls, they're rashing Dundee, they're winning possession back. You know, there's a lot of turnovers when Dundee get the ball just because of the intensity of the press from Celtic. But you're right, you need to make sure that dominance and possession and that attacking play getting into final third, you know, results in goals. And at the moment, you know, the goal comes from Egren. They're very dependent on a midfield player scoring the goals for them. You just wonder if they maybe look to Ian Atchett to come off the bench. He looks more of a natural finisher. But I do think if you're Celtic, it is a concern that when you've been so dominant in a game, you're only 1-0 up. So they maybe be looking at that. From Dundee's perspective, I think they might be looking at maybe getting a wee bit steelier in the middle of the pitch, you know, and winning more second balls and making sure they get their wide players on it, and that would be the key to them possibly getting something out of this match.
And yeah, absolutely. They're looking to get back in it. Celtic would just be desperate to get that second goal as early as possible and just lift the pressure, because no matter how many times you've won the league and won trophies, and the pressure, I would imagine, is still there, isn't it?
Yeah, the longer it goes on, the longer it stays at 1-0. You know, you see that, you know, Bruni mentioned there that there's better height in the Dundee team. So with the long throws, with Astley throwing the ball in the box, and Luke Graham always, he's brilliant at getting the first contact in the box and for corners. That's a threat, you know, so I'm sure they'll be in there trying to address that. Celtic say that second goal is important, but again, coming from a Dundee perspective, it's about making sure that they can take opportunities when they come along and stay in the game for as long as they can.
Well, look, there have been so many twists and turns in this title race. Who's to say there is not another one to come in the second 45 minutes? Celtic dominant, and they have the lead thanks to a 20th Celtic goal of the season for Benjamin Nygren. But at 1-0, you can never be altogether certain that you're going to be safe. Wraith Rovers might just have made it safe, because Dylan Easton has just scored a magnificent goal, smashing the ball into the roof of the net just on the hour mark, and Wraith Rovers go 3-1 up in the Challenge Cup final against Cali Thistle. Innes Cameron with a couple. Alfie Stewart had levelled the game. Dylan Easton has, I think he's just given himself cramp and he's having to get a bit of treatment there, but it's a great finish, a real solo effort, a great finish, and Wraith Rovers are 3-1 up. Right, the players are back out. 45 minutes of Premiership action still to go for the weekend. It's live here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. Dundee 0, Celtic 1. Scott Brown, Tony Docherty and Rob McLean.
Thanks, Richard. Celtic back out. Dundee still to rejoin us for the second half, when Dundee won here against Celtic 2-0 in October. It was the first time that Celtic had lost at Dens in 37 years. And Stephen Presley was reminding us pre-match about how long it had been since Dundee had gone back-to-back against Celtic in league games. And well, they've got a bit to do here if they are going to make it back-to-back, because Celtic mighty impressive first half. And what will please Dundee at the moment is the scoreline, because that is encouraging for them. It means that they're still very much in this. And Scott, if Chavanchura had got that second goal, it was going to be pretty tough for Dundee the way the game was going.
Yeah, 100%. And now Stephen will be in there. He'll be thinking, right, we've got an opportunity to come out and to change a couple of things up. Me and Doc were just talking just off air just 2 minutes ago there. Did Dundee go 2 holding midfielders and play Danda just in front of them, because it gives them a little bit more steel, a little bit more security as well. But even from the goal kicks, when they're going man for man, maybe just set off a little bit as well, because they seem to be getting a lot of counter attacks from that.
You do get the feeling they have to do something a little bit different, Tony.
I think so, yeah, and that's what we're talking about, Bruni and myself. I think they would probably make that change in midfield just to give them more of an opportunity to win possession and get their influential wide players on the ball. And that suggestion there about playing Danda off the front certainly would give them more of a goal threat. You know, going with 1 shot on target. So as much as you stay in the game, you've got to stay in the game, but you've also got to look to find a way in the game to get a goal that gets you back in it.
I wonder how many touches of the ball Simon Murray's had in the first half. Not very many.
No, I don't think he has, but Simon, being the way he is, he'll give you everything. He'll work centre halves and he'll create an opportunity for himself, I'm sure, from his pressing. But I just think if Danda's a wee bit closer to him, as Bruni suggested, then they might get more creative play through that.
But they've got Ashley Hay on the bench as well, so look, Simon Murray will definitely run his socks full, that's for sure, because he's a willing runner. He anticipates the ball really well, and he's a nuisance for every defender, but he needs to give everything. Then Ashley's got pace and he's got good quality as well. He's scored some good goals for them so far this season.
What do Celtic have to change? Not very much, really. A goal up at the interval, could have been 2, should have been 2, but they'll look to get things finished off and get this game out of sight in the second half if they can. What can Dundee come up with? Well, they'll need to come up with a little bit more punch up front. They'll need to create more, and they'll need to make better decisions when they get into that final third as well. Just that one very tame shot on target in the first half versus 6 for Celtic. 11 shots at goal, 6 of them on the money for Celtic. And well, there seems to be a bit of debate about whether it was Nygren or whether it was Yang who got the final touch on putting the ball in the net first half. But
and you're calling me Stato?
Yeah, well, exactly. But I think you're just starting to have an influence on me sitting alongside me here. I'm talking stats suddenly. On the ball, Ethan Hamilton, right in the middle of the pitch for Dundee. Celtic swarming around as usual. Luke Graham clips a pass out to the right side for Brad Halliday. Jan Danda looks to get himself involved early on. Second half, a bit more involved. He is the big creative influence for Dundee. They want him on the ball as much as possible. He's got a set piece and a free kick right at the start of the second half. Gets it back, plays it forward. Simon Murray on the end of it at the right side of the box. The ball breaks out towards Congreve at the corner of the penalty box. Gets it back from Robertson. Shot a goal from Congreve. Well, immediately early second half, better for Dundee. Straight at Sinisalu in the end, but much more encouraging for the home team.
It's a good start there from Dundee, and Simon Murray doing what he does best, running the channels and allowing the wide players to get on the ball in that second phase. Celtic are in here but 1-1.
Yeah, Chivanchura takes a heavy touch, great save.
Again,
John McCracken.
Passed up an opportunity. Should have 3 goals. The centre forward should have 3 goals today.
It was sloppy at the back from Dundee, and again they should have been punished, and again they're clinging on at 1-0.
Yeah, look, the big man's done really well on the first point because he's held Graham off and Nygren's got in behind, but he's got to finish. He's got to be braver than that and just put it in the back of the net. He's tried to take it around McCracken.
It's just his first touch, Bruni. He's got himself. If his touch is better, he's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, but he then makes it a kind of fight ball. John McCracken does really well, but you'd expect somebody Chivanchura's quality there should be taking that first touch, and like in the first half, should be scoring.
Dundee living dangerously, and will feel pretty fortunate to have got away with that one. This game could have been beyond them by now. Chivanchura taken his chances, but it remains 1-0. And here goes Brad Halliday on the end of a pass from Cam Congreve, blasting his way to the byline. His cut back almost finding Simon Murray, and it was a good stretch from Trusty to get there first for Celtic.
Halliday done really well running off the back of Oxlade-Chamberlain, and put the ball back in. He's tried a little cut back, and Trusty's managed just to get his toe into that.
Robertson to right, Yugan left hand side, holding off not just Donovan but Yang as well, and playing the ball wide for Halliday, and now Danda's pass straight at McGregor, gifting it. And here goes Nygren now, running at Graham, drifting away from him. Yang on the right side, curls across in. Well, it was across to no one really from Yang. It drifts behind for a goal kick.
Again, it's wasteful, I think, in that final third. I think with your wide player Yang, you'd be looking for them to take a run to the byline and allow the support to get in the box and look for one of those cut-back crosses that are, kind of trademark for Celtic, but instead of that, he just throws one in the box, and I think they've got to be better than that in the final third.
First 4 minutes of the game, it's been end to end. Both goalies getting worked, which is what we want, if we were honest.
The ball played out by McCracken to Dre Wright. Down the side for Finn Robertson. Spins around, tries to find some room, threads it through. Tony Ugan holding off Colby Donovan. Rolls it back again for Wright, and he swings the ball into the middle of the pitch for Ryan Astley. Astley to Halliday. Halliday plays it up and into the feet of Congreve, but it doesn't stick. Won by Tierney. Celtic under pressure though. Scales plays the ball back to Sinisalo, who picked it up, and Simon Murray is screaming back pass. Stephen McLean doesn't look too interested.
It looked like a back pass to me.
Donovan meantime on the attack for Celtic, and he bundles over Dre Wright, and the Dundee fans are furious.
Strange decision that, you know, Simon doing what he does best. He's put him under real pressure, Scales, and he plays it back his goalkeeper, and for some reason he picks the ball up, and I don't understand the referee there.
Sinisalo must have seen like Murray touch it or something, because he was straight away picked the ball up and started an attack.
Taking a chance spot, isn't it?
As they have.
Ethan Hamilton in the ear of the referee at the moment, looking for an explanation for that, and a few thousand Dundee fans are looking for the same sort of explanation. Good work from Yang to nick the ball away from Ugan, then he gives it away. Another wayward pass intercepted by Astley. He gives the ball quickly to Congreve, coming in off the right side, rolls it back to Danda. Danda into the area, headed away by Scales. Celtic look to counter. Maeda gives it away. Mix up with Negron. Luke Graham to Dre Wright as Dundee have the ball back. Ugan left hand side. Dundee looking for more from Tony Ugan, who's found it tough against Donovan. And they switch it across again to the right side. Congreve with the first time pass. Halliday into the middle, and it just bounces off Simon Murray, spins up in the air into the gloves of Sinisalo. 1-0 Celtic, 6.5 minutes into the second half.
Dundee are the team at the moment, but they look on the ascendancy.
Apparently the news we're hearing is that Simon Murray did get a touch on what looked from here like it was a back pass, and it turns out it wasn't.
Yeah, the goalie looked very, very positive. Straight pick up and right away. I think Kara has got to do better there. Like, it's good ball up. We talked about missing the press out and him holding it up, and he's not held it up there.
Good feet from Cam Congreve down the right hand side for Dundee. Looking for a bit more end product though, the Welsh winger, and the ball going out in the end for a throw-in. Dundee have possession on halfway. Astley to Luke Graham, and he rolls it to the outside for Ugan. Puts his foot on the ball, turns it inside. Finn Robertson is there. Can he create from here? Well, he wins a corner kick. The ball goes behind off Trusty. Beginning to look a little bit more menacing, Dundee.
Just a really clever wee half-space run with Finn Robertson there, but Dundee look to be more likely at the moment. You know, they're forcing the issue a little bit, and this is their first corner of the game, and as we said earlier on, they've got more height advantage, so it'll be interesting with the delivery from Danda, which is normally spot on. This is an opportunity to get back in the game.
Danda takes the corner kick short, gets it back, now he swings it in, great delivery, headed away by Tierney, back into the mix. Lots of dark blue shirts looking to get on the end of this. Shot at goal from Astley was blocked. There was a scream for handball. Lots of Dundee arms in the air at the moment. VAR will have a look.
That's the small thing. You could have been 2-3-0 up, and then decisions like that, you could end up losing a penalty or a sloppy goal or a back pass or something. But let's see what Stephen's going to come up with here.
Too far away from us really to see anything, but you did see the reaction of the Dundee players right away.
Yeah, it was Astley with a shot at goal.
Yeah, again, it's so slow. Like, it's stopping the momentum, and for me, Dundee has got the momentum at this moment in time, and this is slowing the game down. This obviously helps Celtic, which is a good thing. Cal can get the lads and have a little chat.
Yeah, I think this is likely to be a penalty.
And earlier on, when there was the the offside claim against the Celtic goal. The problem for the fans around the ground is they don't actually know what's happening. They don't know what the VAR review is all about at that stage, and this review is certainly taking a bit of time as well, which tends to suggest that this is very borderline, and Stephen McLean is trotting across to look at the monitor, and VAR clearly suggesting to him that this is handball and this is a penalty.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be. He's got a long walk here.
It does, doesn't he? I'm not sure he knew where the monitor was for a moment there, but he's
closer
found it.
to us than the pitch now.
Yeah. So he's poring over the pictures. Is Stephen McLean.
I wouldn't mind a little look at this as well.
What a massive moment in the match. He's not taking long, really. He's had a quick look. He looks pretty convinced in his mind about what is going to happen next. Always a dramatic moment, this, when the referee steps back into play and he says penalty. Dundee with the chance to level this up. Simon Murray has the ball tucked under his arm. Nobody else is going to be getting involved in this, but Celtic are very much getting involved at the moment. Players gathering around Stephen McLean.
We don't have the advantage of any replays, but I think the reaction of the Dundee players right away told you that there was a suggestion of handball. So again,
it's the word is from back in the studio that it's a certain handball, and
big moment now for Simon Murray. He's standing there for a long time.
For all the time he took standing out on the pitch, he didn't take long over the monitor, did he?
Yeah, no, it must be clear.
Celtic just about to make a change as well. Iheanacho ready to come on.
11 minutes into the second half. It is a massive moment at Dens. 1-0 Celtic. Is that lead about to be wiped out? Stephen McLean making sure everybody is outside the area. It's the Dundee captain. It's Simon Murray who steps up and scores. Sinisalo went to his left. The ball rifled in down the other side. And what a moment this could be in the title race as Celtic have their 1-0 lead wiped out by Simon Murray's penalty. It's 1-1 at Dens.
And right away Celtic make a substitution. Kevin Chara comes off and Iheanacho comes on. And really you've got to say, had he taken his chances, Celtic would be out of sight at the moment.
100%, and that's what we talked about. That's a huge part of the game. You go up there and you're going in 2-0, and it's a lot easier. Team talk for Martin, but it's a harder one for the Dundee lads to get around as well. And you can see Dundee knew second half got an opportunity still to be in this game. They came out on the front foot, pressing higher, more aggressive, and within the first minute they had a shot on target at 10:40, about 33 minutes before the first one in the first half.
It's an 8th goal of the season for Simon Murray. He's not been as prolific as he was last campaign, but that is a vital goal for his team.
He looked confident
1-1.
Standing over the ball, didn't he, Simon?
He did.
I didn't think for a minute he was going to miss it, but it now makes it a 30-minute game, and really for both teams it's all in now. It's like cup football. It's about winning. I don't think either team be happy with the draw.
It's one of those penalties. Sorry, Tony. It's one of those penalties that even if Sinisalo had gone the right way, he still wasn't stopping it, I don't think.
No, definitely not. Look, now Stephen will be thinking, can we go in and win this? There'll be 3 points off of his expectations of 38 points to stay up. So it's a huge one for both teams now.
How damaging could that goal be to Celtic's title prospects? They have to be winning this one, you feel, to be in the serious mix to win the big prize.
They've now got 30 minutes, to do all they can to go and win the match. But on Simon, it's not by design that. Working with Simon, who practices these penalty kicks every single day, puts a young goalkeeper in, and very similar to when I work with Adam Rooney. It's because he works every day in his penalties. He's so confident scoring that there.
Yeah, you can see that right away. Now it's character for Celtic. Got to go again. Can they go with that intensity and that pace? Big 30 minutes for us.
And they've missed opportunities, Celtic, big chances to have been 2 or even 3-0 in front against Dundee, and suddenly it's all changed and it's 1-1. Where does this game go from here?
Well, you can see the dynamic of the game's changed. It's now Dundee that are on the front foot, and they're pressing in the middle of the pitch and picking up turnovers, and the game's totally changed now. And as you said there, Bruni, it's all about character and mentality.
You can hear even the crowd, they've got a little bit of belief, a little life when the lines to them as well. They're getting a little bit more chirpy, the Dundee fans, and I'm sure the Celtic fans need to kind of help their players out as much as they possibly can now.
Iheanacho looks to hold the ball up, but it's well won. Dundee now feel this match has swung their way. The ball steered out wide for Congreve, heading for the byline, tried to flash it across goal, got too close to Sini Salo, and the goalkeeper grabs it pretty comfortably. 4-1 Raith Rovers in the Challenge Cup final. 9,007 inside Dens Park, and the home contingent are pretty happy with the way this game has turned. Free kick for Dundee midway inside their own half. Still some debate about the Celtic goal. Seems to have been given to Yang as getting the final touch on it first half, but whoever scored it, it's been cancelled out by that Simon Murray penalty. Big goal from the skipper as Dundee look to get the points on board that guarantee they won't be drifting anywhere near second bottom spot and the possibility of the relegation playoffs. Here goes Brad Halliday again, off and running down the right hand side. He's been full of energy in the game for Dundee. Now with Danda back on the touchline for Halliday. Confidence surging through Dundee at the moment. The ball laid off for Robertson, 25 yards out. Dre Wright is there. Ethan Hamilton, who scored that belter at Celtic Park in the Scottish Cup. Back for Danda again to swing the ball in, and Finn Robertson looking to get a scoring touch from about 12 yards out at an angle. It flashes wide.
Fantastic ball by Danda. He's had more touches in the first 15 minutes of this half than he has the whole of the first half. Great ball, great running in behinds as well.
I think a concern for me, the Celtic point of view, is that was a run in the box with Finn Robertson that just wasn't matched. And something that Finn's done, he made a great run to get the corner earlier on. He's made another great run into the box here, and now the middle three for Dundee are more dominant now. Absolutely.
Really good play from Ethan Hamilton, so strong, and he slipped it through for Congreve. Cam Congreve didn't look up, he just flashed it across goal, and there was nobody there inside the penalty box to apply the finishing touch.
We just talked about that with Yang as well, Doc. Put the ball in very, very quickly, not anybody else being up to support him, and then Congreve's done the exact same. Got his head down, managed to get somebody one-on-one, get a yard and whips the ball in, and there's nobody able to keep up with him.
I just think if he takes an extra touch here, it allows players to advance about 20 yards and get into an area to score. Simon couldn't make the box there, so you're right in that, when they're breaking into the areas, they've got to just a wee bit more thought in the final third.
62, nearly 63 minutes gone at Dens Park. Dundee 1, Celtic 1 in the Premiership. Hearts dropped points earlier. Are Celtic about to spill a couple as well? The ball played up to Iheanacho, holding off Luke Graham. Plays it away left hand side. Celtic look to get the ball in the box. Tierney's cross ball and a looping header from Yang, which had to be dealt with by McCracken. It was dropping at junction of post and bar, and the goalkeeper touches it behind for a corner.
Good break by Celtic. It's the calmness of the striker yet again coming off Iheanacho, just dropping into that pocket, switch of play out to Kiernan. It's a great ball in the box as well.
Corner kick for Celtic, right hand side. Can they poke their noses in front again in the game? In it comes from Negron, headed away near post. Callum McGregor at the edge of the area. Shot blocked, flicked back out wide by Scales. Negron looks to supply, rolls it back. McGregor curls it in, doesn't get the ball beyond Tony Yogan, who heads it away. They're hemmed in at the moment, Dundee, as Celtic look to make something happen in front of goal, and Ryan Astley strokes the ball away under pressure inside the penalty box, out for a throw-in far side. Celtic looking to turn up the heat. Ash Hay is going to come off the bench shortly for Dundee to give them some fresh energy. Throw-in far side. In it comes for Celtic. Luke Graham's header away. Touch back to McGregor, 30 yards from goal. And Dundee snapping into the challenges. And Simon Murray doing some good work there to force the ball out of play. And suddenly the ball is at his feet and he's surrounded by hoop shirts. And the ball goes out on the far side for a throw-in. Dundee going to make a couple of changes. Celtic lining up a couple of alterations as well. I think it's McCowan and Ralston are going to be coming off the bench for Celtic. Yang to Donovan. McGregor having a look. Squares it for Scales. Now Trusty. Still on halfway. Forced to turn back the way, Austin Trusty. And steers a pass towards Sinisalo, screaming at Donovan to make himself available. Back from Scales to the goalkeeper, and he hits it long, looking for Iheanacho, headed away by Luke Graham. Flicked by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Dre Wright gets there, and the ball is going to bounce out of play for a throw-in. 65, nearly 66 minutes. Dundee 1, Celtic 1. Ash Hay is going to replace Simon Murray up top for Dundee, and off the bench as well for the home team is going to come Joel Cottrell, who will slot into that midfield area, and it's Luke McCowan and Tony Ralston for Celtic.
Yeah, Celtic will be looking to bring on a little bit of fresh legs. Colby will come in off for Ralston at this moment in time, and I think Oxlade-Chamberlain will come off. Yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain's coming off for McCowan. I think McCowan's against his old club as well. I'm sure he'll be looking to try and break the box, get goals. And he's got a great left foot. He's scored a couple of goals for Celtic as well, so he's going to bring a little bit of energy into that number 8 role as well.
Tony, does this have a little look at the moment of maybe the one that got away for Celtic? They've been so much in charge of the game right through that first half. They've had big chances not taken. They could have been out of sight, couldn't they?
Yeah, you've seen so many games like that when you're 1-0 up. There's always a threat of not doing that if you don't get the second goal or the third goal. And yet Dundee are right back in the game, and good substitution there. I think Hay coming on. I'm a wee bit surprised. I thought Finn Robertson was making a real positive impact in the game. A wee bit surprised he's taking Finn off there, but yep, you can see at the moment it's Dundee that are still in the ascendancy in this game.
Ethan Hamilton is a powerful figure in the middle of the midfield for Dundee. We've just seen him charging forward with the ball, Scott.
Yeah, I thought he struggled in the first half, not really controlling the game or being able to get any kind of body contact against the midfield three. But the second half, he's came out and he's looked more like himself. And as you say, he's very, very powerful. He's got a wonderful left foot. It's a good bit of recruitment from Dundee, bringing him from Lincoln.
John McCracken plays the ball out for Dundee. Headed out of play, far side by Kieran Tierney. It's just gone a little bit quiet for Celtic at the moment. 68 minutes, they need a goal, they need the win. A draw doesn't do them any favours whatsoever, as Yogan takes a touch and spins away from Ralston. Covering in behind was Negron, but it's going to be called back for the free kick for the shirt tug. Tony Ralston immediately off the bench under pressure from Yogan.
He showed great strength, Yogan, and to hold Tony Ralston off. Tony's very, very strong and physical, and he held him off and ran him as well. So no, it's very good play from Yogan.
Free kick taken short by Danda, just gives it straight back to Tony Yogan, looking to threaten again. He powers infield and he looks to get a shot away, blocked by Ralston. Dundee work it back out again to the left side, and Danda on the ball. Cottrell And back it goes to Dre Wright. Fired forward and headed away by Tierney. In goes Halliday. Celtic have it now.
Maeda's been very quiet the second half. Brad Halliday's done really, really well. Like, body contact every opportunity, and he's also, Brad's running in behind as well.
I was just thinking that, but what happens when you know yourself, when your midfielder winning the battle in there, if you're a wide player, you get more of the ball. And it's the reason why Dundee are better in this half, because their midfield here are winning the battle, so their wide players are getting on it. Converse of that is Celtic are not getting their wide players on it because they're not winning enough possession in the middle of the pitch.
No, you're spot on, and we talked about it right at the start. The wingers are going to win you the games, and they're the ones that want to be creative. And at this moment in time, Dundee's two wingers have had more touches than what the two Celtic ones have.
And Maeda was such a big threat for Celtic first half, such a big player for them, and real credit to Brad Halliday and the job he's done. Celtic looking to make something happen. Ralston, Trusty into the midfield for McCowan. Now McGregor slips it through. Negron prods it out towards the byline. Yang is there, and he did enough to play the ball off Cottrell and behind for the corner.
It's the first bit of calmness that Celtic's had in a good few minutes there, and Carl gets on the ball and Luke, and they bring calmness to the game, and that forward pass into Yang as well is what Callum's always got.
Just picks the right pass at the right time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a very intelligent footballer, and even the last corner when he came, I thought he was going to hit it first time when it came on.
Into the last 20 minutes. Negron swinging in the corner kick. Cleared only as far as McCowan, who had a swing at it with his right boot, missed it completely, and then he's chipped it wide with his left, and the home support not too sympathetic to him, the former Dundee player.
That's both corners. It's came out, and Carl's had a shot, and McCowan's had a shot now as well. So look, they'll be thinking second phases, can they get more opportunities to hit the back of the net?
Man down for Dundee.
Looks like Scott Wright's going to be coming on then for Tony Yogan, and you know Scott can really impact the game as well. You know the qualities that Scott Wright's got, so if they keep that dominance in the middle of the pitch and get the wide players on it, then Scotty could really influence the game here when he comes on.
Yeah, that change coming up. Not sure who's getting treatment there. Tony, can you see from
Tony Yogan?
Is it Tony? Yeah. Tony Yogan is...
Can you not see for that huge pillar in front of you?
Did you not get they moved when you were here, no?
there is part of the Dens Park pitch that remains a mystery to me, because there's part of it you just cannot see. Just depends which pillar you're behind. So that change is coming up. Stephen Presley.
I don't think Yogan wants to come off, if I'm honest. Scotty Wright, look, it'll be fresh legs as well. Now it's a different players for Tony to play against, and I know he's been on long to play against Yogan, but Scott's very, very sharp. Maybe not got the physicality Yogan, but he's sharp and he wants to score goals, and he will cut in on his right foot on this left-hand side.
Scott Wright back at Dundee for a second spell, and he's had little niggles in the last few weeks, but he can certainly play a part late on here and trying to keep Dundee on the front foot. 1-1, 73 minutes, and this could be a big day in terms of the title race, and a big day for Dundee in their attempts at securing Premiership status for next season.
Tell that was brave by Tony Ralston, putting his head in there when the winger's flying in.
Fired out the cannon.
it was either brave or daft, one of the two.
Either or. I'll give him the credit.
Ralston to Trusty, and he rolls it into the midfield for McCowan, who gives it away, and Brad Halliday was charging onto that. He just saw that coming, the former Bradford fullback.
They're still going for a 3-for-3. Brad's jumping forward and pressing Kieran as much as he possibly can, so it's brave by Dundee to go that, and knowing with Celtic's front three as well.
It is pretty enterprising stuff as Dre Wright stays calm against the threat of Yang and mops things up and fires the ball up towards Cam Congreve.
You've got to give Dre Wright a lot of credit as well. And like, he's not a natural fullback, but he's playing in there due to the injuries and stuff like that at this point in time. But he's dealt with everything really, really well, especially being on that left-hand side, being right-footed.
I think he's a really good one-on-one defender. As you've seen there, he's got great pace, and he's got great recovery. So even that there, see, if you've got someone like that with that bit of pace, you can leave them 1v1.
Iheanacho playing a ball into the middle from the right-hand side, looking for Maeda, but it just bounces beyond him and through to John McCracken. Dre Wright seems to be, whenever you ask him to play, he always delivers. He's a 7 out of 10 guy, isn't he?
He is. He's exactly that, you know, because he does have that threat going forward as well. It's just his athleticism is fantastic, but as we said there, it allows you to defend 1v1.
Celtic needs something to happen. 1-1 at Dens. Tierney floats in across, which is really disappointing by his standards, beyond everyone, and behind for a goal kick. Wraith Rovers have won the Challenge Cup pretty emphatically in the end against Inverness Cali Thistle. So silverware for Wraith.
I wonder, Bruni, is that just a wee bit of fatigue there for Kieran Tierney, that cross? You see he's getting substituted just now.
Maybe being away with Scotland as well, but no, he looks in a good place, Kieran, if I'm honest. And now back playing for Scotland, back playing for Celtic, which is great. And Maeda and Kieran, that left-hand side, they've freshened it right up.
Yeah, James Forrest is for Maeda.
Yangs went over to the left, and they'll keep Jamesy Forrest will play on this right-hand side. So
keep wheeling Jamesy out, don't we? He's a fantastic pro. He's a great lad as well. And know what he is? He's a very intelligent football player, and he's an old-fashioned winger. He's willing just to be very, very direct and as soon as he gets on the ball, and he excites people.
Yeah, he still has an impact, doesn't he, James Forrest? And Celtic hoping that he does that here, because they need something to happen. There are 14 minutes to go, and they can't afford to be spilling points. They've won only 2 of their last 5 Premiership games, and they really need to be winning this one. But Dundee are fired up, and they've responded really well second half.
That's Ashley jumping right the way in the middle of the park. It's super brave. It's 1v1 defending. It's good to watch as well. A little bit of freshness of old school. I like the 1v1 defending. Are you a huge fan of it, Doc?
Aye, I think they're doing it really well. You know, they're getting that intensity in the press, and it's paying off for them.
Trusty on the ball for Celtic. Plays it wide right for James Forrest to first time it to Nygren. Covering across is Luke Graham, and the ball has gone behind for a goal kick. 77 minutes, Dundee 1, Celtic 1. BBC Radio Scotland. Stephen Presley was pointing out how long it was since they'd won back-to-back in the league against Celtic. I think he said 75 years or something since that had happened. And first half you thought, well, it's not happening, but you look at the game now and it could well happen.
Yeah, it's a crazy thought that it's been about 75 years, but it shows you the dominance of Celtic and the quality of the Celtic as well. Look, I think Stephen and his team's done really, really well the second half. There's still 15 minutes, probably excess to go as well, so they'll be thinking, how can we go and win this game?
Luke Graham back to John McCracken. He unloads it up towards Ash Hay, headed away by Trusty. McCowan to Forrest on the halfway line, right-hand side. Back with Ralston. Celtic have now made a raft of changes and looking for those fresh legs to have an impact. Sirachi getting involved down the left-hand side, and McCowan. Yang jinking his way towards the byline, but he is Brad Halliday to deal with. Celtic shuttle the ball across to the right side now. Trusty to Forrest. Forrest attacking right, whips it in towards the near post, fended away by Graham.
He's still got that sharpness, James. 1v1, he still excites people. Naturally, Dre Wright's very, very quick as well. He's sharp over 2-3 yards, and Jamesy's done him for pace there.
It's Yang and Sirachi and McCowan across on the left-hand side, looking to create for Celtic. Sloppily given away, but Trusty has it back, and it's back with James Forrest. coming in off the right side. Negron looking to work it onto his left boot, just 15 yards out, and the ball spinning towards the corner flag and going behind for the corner kick.
Just the last couple of minutes you can detect the substitutes have made a real difference for Celtic, and they're playing the way they did a wee bit in the first half, suffocating the opposition in that final third.
Tony Ralston lofting the ball back in for Celtic. It's a poor one, it's beyond everyone. It bounces behind. We're almost at 80 minutes and it's 1-1 at Dens.
He's just got to pass that to Eniacho. He's in the box almost, and he's tried to dink it back post and overhit it out for a goal kick now. You've just got to keep making sure you keep the pressure on, and that's what probably Celtic have done well since the substitutions have came on.
1-0 Celtic it was at half-time. Yang or Negron, delete as applicable. We're giving it to Negron just so he gets to 20. But Simon Murray with the equaliser after a handball spotted by VAR. Luke McCowan speeding forward for Dundee, and it's another really good bit of defending from Brad Halliday, getting the ball away.
I think it was just one touch too many by Luke. I thought he could have played in that little bit earlier, but it was a great build-up, great play, but very good defending as well.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx Dundee, but some of their defending been really impressive.
Yeah, up to now, yeah. But Celtic beginning to do what they did in the first stages of the game. They're beginning to get that kind of up, back, through movement, and midfielders making that third man run off the striker, and they now they've grabbed the game, and with 10 minutes to go, they definitely up the ante a little bit.
James Forrest coming in off the right side, looks to get it back from McCowan. Good interception by Danda. Now Ethan Hamilton looks to play it back to Jan Danda. Trusty intercepting. It's frantic on the touchline for Celtic. It's animated with both Sean Maloney and Martin O'Neill gazing into the sun, shielding their eyes from the low sun and looking for their team to get themselves back in front here as time starts to fritter away for Celtic. Trusty steers another pass out wide for Forrest, who cuts in left-footed, probing the ball in towards McCowan. Dundee smuggle it away, but it's McCowan on the left side now who cuts infield and looks to create something. Yang's cross ball in, Iheanacho on the turn, and it's Kelechi Iheanacho who fires Celtic back in front, and this could be a title lifeline. It's 2-1 Celtic, 8 minutes to go.
And do you know what I've got to say, you can see that coming. You can see the last 5 minutes Celtic have really just started to do what they did in the first half. They've won the ball in the middle of the pitch, they've had runners getting off the striker, they've fed the wide players, and it's a brilliant finish. Vian actually takes a brilliant first touch there and spins onto his left foot, and it's a great finish.
Yeah, definitely. Look, what's made this is Jamesy Forrest, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Every time he comes on, the calmness, he's been cutting inside. Dre's obviously showing him inside because he doesn't want him to go down the line, but he's coming inside, he's playing little 1-2s, he's looking for a forward pass. He excites people, but he also makes defenders defend, and that's the thing. They end up pushing two over to try and compact Jamesy, and then there's a little bit of space into Iheanacho's feet as well.
I think you're right. I think it's about subs impacting the game, and I'd say Luke McCowan's made a difference as well, making the runs off at midfield, and obviously Iheanacho for the goal. So that's 3 of your subs that have come on have really contributed to putting Celtic ahead.
What a moment that could be in the title race. Quite incredible, so dramatic. I think maybe some Celtic fans were looking at the clock and beginning to think this is not going to happen. VAR are checking it out, but I think the goal, or has it been given?
There's the second celebration.
Yep. Yep.
I'm bored with VAR already.
So fourth goal for Celtic for Kelechi Iheanacho, and that one could be absolutely massive. It keeps them alive, Scott, in this title race.
Yeah, it's a big thing. You need to now, there's about 10-12 minutes to go. They need to make sure they win the game, because it'll be a huge result coming up to Dundee, because they've not won here all season. But yet again, they need to make sure that if there's opportunities for them to go and score, they put the ball in the back of the net. Iheanacho has a fantastic touch, and it's a great finish, and that's the difference. He's had one shot, one goal.
Dundee are going to make another couple of late changes, but Celtic threatening again. And it's a red card. It's Ryan Astley who's going to be sent off here.
Not sure it's a red card. Not sure. I'd need to see that again. It's hard from up here because we've got a couple of pullers in front of us.
Yeah, it was Yang who was racing down the middle. He looked as if he was clipped by Astley.
Yeah, it's pretty nigh impossible for us to see that from here. But if Yang has got that touch and got beyond him, and Ryan's just caught him, then you know he is last man there. But I'd need to see it again, and I'd need to see it without that big pillar.
That pillar's causing us all sorts of problems here.
I think that pillar's been man of the match.
Oh, it's been unbelievable.
But it's such a massive moment because this could kill off Dundee if they're down to 10 men chasing another equaliser.
Yeah, you would think it would.
So at the moment, Stephen McLean is surrounded by most of the outfield players. Dundee were about to make a couple of changes. They were about to bring on Charlie Riley, and in a bid to come back at Celtic one more time. But this decision is being poured over at the moment, and Dundee are going to be down to 10 men.
It's a great touch for Iniacho as well. And we talk about subs coming on. I think you got it spot on. Dundee's subs that came on have not really affected the game.
No.
I can't remember Scott Wright having a touch of the ball.
No, and I do think at that stage of the game, Finn Robertson was doing really well. Listen, I didn't credit, I said about the other subs, but also Sarachi's part in that goal. He's overlapping his cross. So that's your 4 substitutes really combined to get you in front here. And I think you're right, the impact of the Celtic subs has been much greater than the impact of the Dundee subs.
I think Joe Wesley is the other Dundee player who I think is going to be introduced once this free kick is taken. And not a bad effort from the free kick. Swerving just wide of target. But Celtic 2-1 up here at Dens. 86 minutes gone now.
Celtic just need to see the game out. Down to 10 men, make sure they keep the ball and get their press right back to where it was.
Just when it looked as if Celtic's title prospects were beginning to evaporate, Kelechi Iheanacho comes up with one big goal to recharge their batteries. 6 games to go after this one for the top 3, and as things stand, it's going to be 3 points separating that trio at the top of the Premiership.
How big could that goal be, Doc?
Huge, absolutely huge. And you did get that feeling Celtic had just, at that stage of the game, where they were second best in the second half, but when the introduction of substitutions, you could just see the press was better. They were playing the final third. They were suffocating Dundee and winning the ball back, and as I said, the goal was coming.
What a game Brad Halliday has had for Dundee here. He's just stopped Yang in his tracks again, but Celtic get it back and they're on the move again, and it's the man of the moment, Iheanacho, powering into the box, left-hand side, fired across goal, stabbed away. It's 10-man Dundee now, of course, in these closing stages, and Celtic looking to strike again. James Forrest at the back post, just side-footed it in, hoping there was going to be a finishing touch for Negron. Dundee get it clear.
Once again, it's brilliant delivery. Sarachi's come on for Kieran Tierney, and he really has made an impact in the game. He's crossed for the goal, and that cross there, I don't know if James is just trying to put that back across goal, whether he should go and try and score, I don't know, but it's a fantastic delivery. But Celtic get a wee bit of a problem here because there's a player down and they've used the 5 of their subs. I don't know who that is.
I think it's Cramp.
Yeah, is it? Who's Cramp? What number's he?
Just next to Pillar. I think it's Yang.
Yang, yeah.
Who's down.
He's put a power of work in as well. Off the ball, he's underestimated as well. I know we talk about Naida all the time, but Yang does put so much work rate in for the team off the ball, and then when he gets on the ball, everyone expects him just to do things, but you forget about that side of the game. But let's go back to Sarachi. He's crossing, like Jamesy there, he's trying to play Negrin in, just a little cut back.
Dundee are preparing a couple of subs here. I think they're bringing on Billy Cometto, because I did see they went to a back three. Billy Cometto is going to come into that, and Charlie Riley's going to come on to try and give a good player. Charlie Riley's going to come on and try and provide that attack, that one attack that they might get an opportunity to score.
We'll find out soon how much time is going to be added on to the 90. We're in that 90th minute at the moment. There have been a few delays, and there should be a chunk of stoppage time to be bolted on.
This is what Celtic got to do. Move the ball quickly, side to side, make Dundee work. They've just went all the way across the back line, from one side back across to the other. Dundee's got to work so hard, especially when you're a man down. It's horrible when you're in these situations.
Trusty to Forrest, wide right, into McCowan, looking to get it back. Luke McCowan, Luke Graham got it away for Dundee, under pressure but managing to keep the ball pretty well. Cottrell and Ethan Hamilton. Now it's Danda, and 7 minutes to be added to the 90. 2-1 Celtic at Dens. Is there any way back again for Dundee? They came back from 1 down. Can they respond to 2-1? Celtic hope not, because their title chances might depend on it. Back it goes from Halliday to McCracken.
Just a wee bit of encouragement from Dundee now. They're keeping the ball well.
Scott Wright with the pass.
A bit of calmness when you're down to 10 men as well, trying to play through the lines.
Yeah, it's important you keep it and wait for that. Probably one opportunity you'll get to get in behind. But again, the Celtic are back in control of the game here, and it's important from their perspective. They've got to try and manage this game through possession, as you say. Celtic
are stoppage time away, 7 minutes away from one big win. It was must win for them.
That's a crazy ball for me, that Ralston plays. You know, they're in possession of the ball and he just plays one out the pitch, and it allows John McCracken to go on a goal kick. It allows, you know, Dundee to make these substitutions, and why not just keep the ball? Why not come back out and just keep the ball?
100%, especially when there's 5 minutes to go or so. You know they're trying to bring men on, they're down to 10 men as well, and you've ended up just giving John McCracken an opportunity to zing the ball 80, 90 yards down that park.
So Dre Wright and Jan Danda are the two players coming off for Dundee. Charlie Riley on and Billy Cometto into the back line for them.
Yeah, so Dundee get into a back three of Cometto, Graham and Halliday, and they push Charlie on wide right, Charlie Riley on wide right, to try and get fresh legs against Karachi.
Can they find a chance in these closing minutes, and can they take the opportunity if they can fashion it?
It's hard now for Dundee. You can see the two wingers, Celtic's front three, staying nice and wide and making the pitch huge.
Sirachi plays it out. Celtic win the throw on the far side. It's all about running down the clock now, getting to the finishing line for Celtic, having got that all-important third goal of the game from Iheanacho. Luke Graham getting a man of the match shout from the home support and the sponsors, and it's been another really polished performance from him.
Yeah, and I think that's merited. I think he showed his various sides to his game today. His defending's been on point, his use of the ball's been great, and every time I see him, he just looks like he's maturing into a really, really top player.
Cometto on the ball, under pressure, manages to squeeze the ball forward towards Congreve. Back it went towards Luke Graham, who was caught by Iheanacho. Free kick given, but Dundee wanting to get players forward at this stage.
And this is the threat, sorry Bruni, this is the threat of Billy Cometto, you know, fantastic in the air. You got a free kick here, John McCracken will go long, they've got Graham, Cometto, targets, you know, and strikers running off that, and this is a way back into the game for them.
Yeah, this could be a big moment in the 4th minute of stoppage time, right at the end of the match, and John McCracken fires the ball forward, flicked into the danger zone. Ralston's headed away. Who's going to get there first? Forrest making his bid for it. The ball goes out. Celtic looking for a free kick. It's going to be a throw. Congreve to Halliday. In comes the cross ball from Brad Halliday. Straight back to him. Lofted back into the mix. Trusty's headed away. McGregor is there. Congreve intercepts his pass. Dundee needs something to happen quickly. Tony Ralston boots the ball away for Celtic, back from Cotterill to McCracken. 94 minutes. Dundee 1, Celtic 2, BBC Radio Scotland. Under pressure, Forrest gets the pass away. Scales curls it out wide for Yang.
Good decision by Jamesy. That brings the calmness. It gets out the other side.
Srirachi on the overlap. Into the box it goes. Interception inevitably by Luke Graham.
Great positioning for a centre half to pick up that ball there. And Dundee are going all out here. They really are. They're going all out to get it. And if Celtic are clever about this, they can pick the right pass. They can get in. But Dundee, great credit to them. They're really going for it here, giving everything to try and get that goal back.
They're still pressing. I love that. 10 men still going after it. You can see Hamilton now chasing to the full-back, but then that opens up gaps to Cal McGregor, and he's going to go out the other side now.
And that's that kind of game intelligence. You see Cal McGregor there, he doesn't run, he just stands.
Yep, and he's got the ball back.
He got on it, and he's now controlling the game.
Got it back from Srirachi, and now Yang taking the ball up the left-hand side. McCowan gives it back to him. Just keeping Dundee chasing at the moment as Celtic work the ball around. And we're in the 96th minute. Iheanacho, the hero of the hour, plays the ball back. Trusty to Ralston. Dundee doing lots of chasing, but they just can't get to the ball. Ralston back to Sinisalo. Well, there will be some roar from the Celtic fans if the scoreline stays this way for the next minute or so.
It's a great
this
ball.
Is a big result. Negron, lots of room for him in the middle of the pitch. Flicks the ball through for Iheanacho. Took his moment, then squeezed the shot past McCracken, and it's knocked off the line by Billy Koumetio.
Really good defending by Koumetio there, but again Celtic have just picked him off with their passes.
Out to Congreve, who skips away from Ralston's challenge. He's yellow carded, Tony Ralston, and it's a free kick for Dundee, and it's going to be everybody forward for this, surely.
It's a crazy decision again for me there, Tony Ralston. Congreve's going out the pitch and he fouls him, and this now gives the opportunity. You've seen it in the derby against Dundee United here in the last minute. They pushed John McCracken up. They've done the same thing here, and it's probably the last action of the game, but you know, that opportunity's presented itself now through Tony Ralston making a foul that they can get the ball in the box one last time.
This is last chance for Dundee. 2-1 down. Congreve floats in the free kick. It's juggled by Sinisalo. He had it and he lost it, but the free kick is going to be given for the challenge against him.
That's what you want for your goalie. Come out,
really brave.
Take the hit as well. He knew he was going to get hit, but he's managed to come out, and that's brilliant. 96th minute, and your goalie's willing to take that. That takes the pressure off the back four and everybody else.
And that's that, Scott. I think this is massive for Celtic, isn't it, to stay in the hunt?
Yeah, 100%. It puts them 3 points behind now, and they'll be thinking they've got Rangers and Hearts still to play. They keep winning games. They get that mentality, and look, Martin's got that in his locker to make sure the lads keep driving, keep focused as well. You can see how much it means to him. He's still out there. It's the 90. We're into the 98th minute now, and Martin's still wanting more from him.
Not quite for the final whistle as the ball goes out off the head of James Forrest. But Stephen McLean's got to be looking at his watch now. Full time at Dens. Celtic are still in the title hunt. They close to within 3 points of the Premiership pace. And it looked late on here as if their chances might be evaporating. 1-1, Simon Murray having scored the equalising penalty to cancel out Celtic's first half opener. They needed a hero, and they found one in a man who scored a lot of important goals in his time. Kelechi Iheanacho wheeling to rifle in a left footer past John McCracken, and that's the goal that has made all the difference. Celtic still very much in title contention on a day when Hearts dropped points in West Lothian. Rangers beat Dundee United yesterday, and Celtic have found a way to win and stay in title touch at Dens Park. Dundee 1, Celtic 2.